Star Wars quite extensively for Entertainment Tonight. Because of that, one of my favorite, if not my favorite person to talk to over the years, has been our guest of honor today. He is the star of Pacific Rim Uprising, wow, and Star Wars The Last Jedi. Please welcome John Boyega!
What's going on? Awesome, come on!
Now, I know in a past celebration you have walked the con floor in disguise, but I was just looking at your Insta story, and you just went out there.
Yeah, I had to buy some stuff. I can't come to a con and not walk the floor, so I decided to come out and show the fans some love.
Yeah, how was it?
It was fantastic, it was great. It was great.
No, we geek out so hard over your franchises, Pacific Rim and Star Wars.
Thank you.
I want to know what...
Thank you.
There we go. I want to know what John geeks out over.
I geek out over Gundam Wing, I geek out over Hunter x Hunter, I love Star Wars, of course. It's everything for me, you know, the DC universe, the Marvel universe, I love it all.
Star Wars, what is that?
Yeah, it's a little indie I'm working on. Yeah.
Oh, are there more than one?
Yeah, it's about a farm boy, but yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay, we'll get to that. I do want to start with your most recent apocalyptic endeavor, Pacific Rim Uprising. Yes, who has had a chance to see Pacific Rim? I want to be mindful of people that maybe have not had the chance to see it yet, so where do we pick up? What is the state of the world when Pacific Rim Uprising takes up?
So we pick up Pacific Rim 10 years after the first movie. Time has gone by and the PPDC don't expect another kaiju attack. I play Jake Pentecost, who's the son of Stacker Pentecost, played by Idris Elba. You don't get to say that every day. And it's about him, he's a rogue, he's a criminal, and it's about him going back into the PPDC and having to train a new generation of Jaeger pilots.
Now, it's just a crime we didn't get to see Idris and John on screen together, but did you have the chance to talk to him about playing his son and pick his brain a little bit?
It's funny, actually, I've crossed paths with Idris many times, like just growing up and seeing him at several different read-throughs. He actually developed a script that I actually went in on to read, and I met him there. But he sent me a lovely message just saying that, you know, you go in there and you kill it, man, because you know, that's all we can do, really.
I mean, I think
have fun. Yeah, and it was nice to get that message from him and that support.
I mean, I think you did kill it.
Oh, thank you.
Now, not only were you the star of the movie, you also took on the role of a producer, which producer can mean so many different things, or so many different roles. So what was your role? What were your contributions?
So with producers, especially on big movies like that, you have a group of producers and each have their own designated spot to handle. And for us, it was solely creative. So I handled a lot of the pre-visual CGI fights, a lot of casting, and then going into marketing and so on and so forth. It's long hours, but it's great fun seeing Jaegers fight and having the power to be able to say, this is what the fans want to see, this is what a fanboy would like. And that actually being taken into account, and it's a different thing, it's a different story.
There's definitely a lot of action, a lot of fight scenes. And one of my favorite things to watch is just you and Scott Eastwood kind of having to choreograph getting thrown around in a Jaeger. Oh, I mean, what happens on set with like kind of rehearsing that, getting that together?
Well, inside the compound, we actually based our Jaegers on Guillermo del Toro's style. He built the physical robot heads, placed it on top of a hydraulic and moved it around. But we have the power to bring in pre-visuals which show us a kind of crappy animated version of what is going to be in the final movie. And so myself and Scott, we learned the choreography and tried to get it at the same time. It's kind of like violent dancing in a sense. And yeah, I think we're drift compatible, me and myself and Eastwood.
You kind of have to have that connection on set.
Oh yeah. You know, if I don't know what he's thinking, he's gonna tell me anyway. So we had a good time.
And now you produced the movie, you starred in it. There goes my phone.
Oh man, we get feedback.
Oh my gosh!
It's alright.
Such a gentleman. Do you see yourself continuing to produce, and do you ever see yourself stepping behind the camera to direct someday?
Yeah, I'm producing another British TV series with a newcomer director called Sebastian Till. I'm doing it with Big Talk, who done my first ever movie, Attack the Block. We're getting back into business with each other, which is fantastic. In terms of directing, I'm training for that, and maybe one day, maybe.
With a few solid people. So.
Yeah.
They mentioned that they do want to do more Pacific Rim movies. Do you see yourself continuing to be a part of that franchise?
I mean, if the fans give me the opportunity, Jake will return. Yeah, for sure.
I loved watching you play Jake because he was kind of like a playboy, I guess. I don't know how to describe him. How would you describe him?
I mean, he's no Finn, that's for sure. Like, they're so different in characters, and that was one of the things I was so excited about because I was worried. I was just like, look, I don't want my Star Wars supporters to be like, oh no, he went and done another franchise. What's wrong with that boy? You know, but I wanted the opportunity to do another franchise, but for the opportunity for there to be a completely different character was my thing, and I'm so excited to be continuing in two major movies. And
What do you think the biggest similarity between Finn and Jake is, and what's the biggest difference? And who would you rather go clubbing with?
Oh, now you're gonna want to go clubbing with Jake. I mean, there's like a party scene in the actual movie, which is crazy. And he lives in half a mansion, and I have never heard of that in my life. So Jake is the cool guy. But in terms of a fight, yeah. See, I think hand-to-hand combat, Finn would definitely put Jake.
He's done pretty well for himself.
Yeah, I mean, he took on Phasma, and she got it.
Well, speaking of Finn, let's talk about Star Wars.
Yeah! I'm seeing sabers light up, that's cool.
Quite a few. Some in which you've held.
Yeah.
So you've swung around a lightsaber, you defeated Phasma, you got the girl.
Yeah.
What's something you're hoping that Finn gets to do in the future?
Next week, I'm actually going to call JJ because...
You let him know.
I'm just going to call him, I think Finn needs a jetpack. And 2 blasters. In one in each hand. I mean, the bird's eye view, we need maybe a Boba Fett can, pass down some of his gear. I think Finn needs something special because I think it's going to be all out war in this final chapter. So we need to be prepared.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Listen, the future, I know you can't talk much about 9, but the future of Star Wars in general is bigger and brighter than ever. There's so many movies that have just been announced, TV shows. What's something as a fan, you John, as a Star Wars fan, that you would want to see that maybe has been untapped?
I would love to see a Boba Fett origin story.
Yes, what happened to that?
I want to know about Yoda, man. I want to know. Who is he? I want to know where he comes from. So I would love to see that. That would be cool. And Star Wars Old Republic. I would love to see that.
We focused so much on Rey's past in The Last Jedi. Are you at all curious to focus on Finn's in a future film?
Yeah, that would be cool. I've always, one question as an actor being involved in Star Wars that is unanswered to me is why Finn decided to defect in the first place. I still don't understand. I still don't get it. So I would love to know more and to go into his life as a stormtrooper. That would be really cool.
Right, and one of the last things we saw is Finn kind of getting the girl, him and Rose.
Well, I remember in episode 7 when a lot of the fans were like, oh man, dude, is Finn in the friend zone? And I was like, it's looking that way. And then a guy called Ryan Johnson came to change the game. And now, Rose wants me, Rey wants me, Poe wants me. Hard choices. Hard choices.
I don't know if all of you have had the chance to see the gag reel yet, but there is a moment where you and Rey are hugging and Oscar Isaac just comes up behind you.
Yeah. Oscar can't get his hands off me. But yeah, there's a moment like that, and I know about the Finn Poe ships. I know about Finn Rey. I I know about Raylo. I know about all of you guys.
Who do you ship?
Oh man, I ship Finn and Ray. I really do. I mean, they started together. They were in the trenches together. But you know, Poe's stepping up though.
I know. Did you see that? He's like, I know who you are.
He was really involved in A. I mean, Poe's stepping up.
He's like, I'm Ray, and he's like, I know.
Yeah, I know.
I know, girl. I know, girl. I have to wonder though, when Finn and Rose were together, if Ray was a little jelly.
Now, did you guys see the way she looked at me when I was putting the blanket over Rose?
Oh, now he's got it. Now he's moving on. Wait a minute.
Who's that?
What is that?
So I decided to bring a friend. Everyone is Jonas! I couldn't come alone, so I needed backup. This is my first con, and Jonas decided to join me.
I noticed we were talking about romances and love affairs. Why wasn't Chewbacca mentioned?
Fair question.
I think Ray should give me time for a cool mission and partnership with Chewbacca.
Although,
I think we'll make a good team.
I'm good with that, so I guess I'll see you guys later.
I think Jonas is forgetting about Chewie and the porgs, though.
No, well, the porgs.
Let's discuss. You hate them. Why?
Listen, you guys got the porgs in the best way possible. You got them with the Star Wars movie, you got them packaged well with teddy bears. You know, I saw porgs very differently. You know, I saw them on the Millennium Falcon, bunched up in one, and they were looking all little with their beady eyes. They look like a rash. Like, so ever since then, porgs have freaked me out. And also, Ryan has a porg. He owns one, and his porg looks dead. Like, so
There's
it
one
freaks me out.
here. On the floor, not here.
Oh. Okay, cool.
Okay, well, moving on from the porgs, I guess, but we'll work on this.
Ooh.
It is early to think about. I don't even know what I'm having for dinner after this, but in the way that Carrie, Mark, and Harrison reprise their roles way down the line, is that something that you would leave the door open for, assuming Finn makes it out alive?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to see where this story could go. We're all emotional, you know, right now. 9 is like, you know, the final chapter for us, and we're just kind of like, wow, you know, it started so fast, it ends so fast, but you know, when I'm 35, God gives me the days, I'll come back. I have a little goatee by then, hopefully.
It has been a whirlwind, hasn't it? And you've worked with such iconic talent in this movie. One being your best friend, Harrison Ford.
Yeah. It's so crazy because we were actually on a flight together while going out to Tokyo. And I was sleeping because they give you these pajamas to wear, and I was sleeping in my bed. And he came and sat down and woke me up, and he goes,
Wait, really?
"You still enjoy the Star Wars stuff?" Yeah, mate, I'm still enjoying it. He was like, "Good." Walks back. So he's always checking up on us and making sure everything is okay. He's like our dad, you know. It's fantastic.
I know, you really attacked him with friendship, and I love it.
I know. Anytime I can get with Harrison, I hold onto his leg like any fanboy would. I'm very professional on set, but to be honest, like, if I could afford it back in the day, I would have came to the cons, I would have queued up, and to be in this position where I get to meet these stars who I grew up with is an opportunity for me to work with them, but also to be like, Harrison, can you sign my action figure? So I like to do that from time to time.
Do you have all their autographs?
Yes, I do. Yes. And with each figures come new figures. You know, they've got the new figures coming out with each film. I have them signed again and again. I'm sorry, I even sign myself because technically you have to have all the characters. So like I do the final one, like.
Working with Harrison and Mark and Carrie, of course was like the most unapologetic, fearless woman in our industry. Is there any piece of advice that she gave you that you still carry with you, pun intended?
My biggest thing with Carrie was learning by example. When Carrie Fisher was on set, there was an energy because she was so free and not too self-aware. So she warmed everybody up. Because even on these Star Wars sets, we have fans just like you who get the opportunity to come in as extras, and they see, you know, Princess Leia, you know, walking on set, and they get freaky. And she would come and she would just be like, it doesn't matter, I'm Leia, but you know, I'm chill. You know, you can come and talk to me, you can be free. And for me, she showed me that I can interact with the fans, I can love the Star Wars, you know, franchise as a fandom, and at the same time work within it and be as sufficient and successful. And I just think by watching her, by listening to the story she tells about her own path and how she got there, it makes, like, especially for myself and Daisy, who were literally unknown and came into this position, it makes us feel comfortable. And you know, it's always a pain, but we're really gonna miss her in this whole thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Now, I keep saying this, but sharing the screen with such amazing people. Is there anybody that's on your bucket list to work with that you haven't been able to? Who did you look up to when you were younger?
I would love, and this is in the Star Wars universe, I would love Mace Windu to come back. And you know what? I'd love Billy D, man. I'd love Finn to meet Lando. That would be
Where are you at?
cool. Where you at, man?
Where's Lando at?
Yes, where's Lando?
Are we gonna find out? I hope so.
I hope so.
Do you know? No.
I haven't even read the script, you know. I'd read the whole thing to you like it was a bedtime story.
To all of us?
Yeah.
Now, you've been a part of two major, amazing franchises, and I think a lot of people always want to know, if the timing was right, everything came up perfectly, would you do some sort of superhero role, either in the MCU or the DCU?
I would. It would have to be Marvel, wouldn't it?
R.I.P. your Twitter mentions.
Look, I mean, I've been into meetings before at Marvel, and I'm a big fan of everything they're doing. I think right now, I'm just trying to get over that Infinity War trailer because Jesus Christ. I want to know who's going to die too, because someone's got to go.
Same, someone's going.
Someone has to go.
Someone's
Thanos is not kidding around. You know what I mean? And those Infinity Stones, he's packing them up.
Yeah.
Oh, he's ready. So I'm happy just being a part of the audience now, but down the line, I would definitely.
They're gonna need some new Avengers. You can come in, you can find Hawkeye wherever he is.
Where's Hawkeye though? I respect my guy, man. You know, it'll be good.
I love it. Well, guess what? We're gonna do a little Q&A with the audience.
Yeah, sure, I'd love to.
Yeah, so you guys can go ahead and line up. I believe there's 2 mics. Yeah, and we'll just kind of alternate. So we're gonna start over here. Hey, yes, debut.
Thank you. Just want to start out by saying my girlfriend and I love to tack the blocks.
Thank you.
Thank you. We couldn't wait to see you in Star Wars. My question is, I saw on your Instagram that you were at the Martin Luther King Memorial the other day. Have you been to Washington before, and what do you like best about it?
This is my first time in Washington, D.C. This is my first time. The history here is rich, and I'm from London. We're used to seeing historical buildings. We're used to feeling a sense of the past when we're in the city. And for me to feel that coming to the United States of America, to feel just a taste of what was before is magical to me. I love history, and I had to take the opportunity to go out there to see the memorial. I wish I had more time, but I'll definitely be back in DC for sure. I've had an amazing time.
You've really been frolicking around this weekend.
Oh yeah. I've been all over the gaff, and I've really enjoyed myself. Yeah, thank you.
I love it. We'll go over here. Hi.
Hello. Love it.
Oh, thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, so obviously I like both Star Wars and Pacific Uprising.
Thank you.
What was a favorite scene from like any of the movies? Like, what was a favorite scene for you to film?
From Star Wars, I really enjoyed the Captain Phasma fight. Like, that fight for me was just, it was great and amazing to work on, especially working with Gwen, who's kind of strong. In my head, while I was fighting her, to be honest with you guys, I meshed worlds. I was fighting a formidable Game of Thrones character who so happened to be wearing Captain Phasma's armor, and that made for a very enjoyable day. You guys should try it sometime. And from Pacific Rim, I definitely feel the ice cream sundae scene. I loved filming that. Thank you.
Go over here.
Hi, I was wondering if there's any aspect of your Nigerian heritage that you bring to your roles, or does that just seem like a completely different world?
I leave DC tomorrow to go to Nigeria. Nigeria is my home. I go back to Africa all the time. I know there are loads of Nigerians in DC, for me, I connect with characters based on the script fundamentally, but if there is an opportunity for me to relate to the culture, especially with Pacific Rim, where you saw Jake in an African print attire that is from Nigeria, and also the music that we used, I had the ability to put in WizKid's tune, who's a Nigerian artist, and I put his song in the movie too, so that's my way of meshing my culture with the sci-fi I get to be involved in.
So clearly you figured out how to knock it out of the park in film. If you somehow found a pocket in your schedule to do something different, maybe stage or writing, what would you do?
I did stage last year. I was on stage for 6 weeks at the Old Vic Theatre. For me, I write a lot. I'm building a universe, and so that requires a long amount of time, so I'm constantly writing. But I've got to take a break from sci-fi after this, because I think I've done a lot of sci-fi. So I'll be going into the drama genre, you know, and discovering that.
I thought you were going to Marvel.
No, that'll be later down the line. You know, if Kevin Feige would give me a call, you know.
What character would you want to play? Does somebody in mind?
No, I don't. I don't have
Okay,
anybody in
sure.
mind. I don't. No suggestions.
Hi, my name is Tonks, like from Harry Potter.
Oh, Spelliarmus.
And I was wondering, since when you were doing an interview on Ellen's show, you did an impression of Daisy Ridley. I was wondering if you could do one of Oscar Isaac.
No. Me and Oscar have this running joke of him saying crystal critters all the time. And he always puts his chin up like this and says, crystal critters, crystal critters, crystal critters, crystal critters. And I do a warm-up with him before he went on set to film with the crystal critters that you see in The Last Jedi. Oscar is very dashing, and sometimes I do copy him. So we had a good old time with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go over here. Hello.
Hey, Leia.
Also.
Wow. I am.
So, I know you just said you don't really know why Finn turned, but do you think maybe the stormtrooper dying right in front of him on his first time out in the field played a role in that?
No. It's not enough. There's something else. We are Star Wars fans. We never believe what they give us. It's never enough. It's never enough. Oh no. I'm gonna expand the theory in my head and make stuff up, so it's never enough.
You're launching 1,000 think pieces. Hi, you do a killer American accent.
Thank you.
So what is your secret to doing a really consistent accent?
I think the difference is, growing up in London, we grew up on American movies, and we had access to American TV. So when you went to school and anybody spoke about your favorite movie roles, 9 times out of 10, the role would be American, and for you to portray these movies, you'd have to go into American. And I think with that, growing older, I know some people that don't even act, and they can do a killer American just because that's what we grew up with. And I just think it's different in the States. There's not a lot of British TV, especially back in the day, that was, accessible. So that's how I'm able to mesh into it. And then it's training. And J.J. Abrams decided that Finn best suited an American, and I'm glad to do it. It's part of my job, and I really, really enjoy it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead.
Hi.
Hey, man.
My question is, in a lot of ways, Finn is a really groundbreaking character. So, what is it like to portray a character people can ship with Ray and ship with Bo and ship with Rose all at the same time? Everybody.
I know. It's hard walking around this galaxy with eyes on you. It's a crazy experience. The shipping goes far. I remember my mum calling me saying, "John, why are you naked with Poe?" I was like, no, that's like a ship, these people they put together. She was like, oh, okay. So it's nice to be able to experience those things in that way. It's cool. That's what you guys are like.
You must see a lot of wonderfully bizarre fan art.
Oh yeah, I've seen myself in places I cannot describe.
Fair enough.
Hi John, thank you for coming to DC.
Thank you.
So I think you like anime, and you like figures, so what's your favorite figure that you own?
Ooh, I do have a One Punch Man figure that I really love. But I just came back from Tokyo. So I went all out in Tokyo. I went down to the Gundam Wing place. I bought a double action figure set with Sasuke and Naruto going up against each other. And that was cool. I'm into it all, But Gara would be my favorite figure that I have.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, so one thing I was asking is, within Star Wars, people learn so much and they delve with the characters. What is something you gain from Finn, something you learned, and something Finn can even learn from you in everyday situations?
I guess I've always been in my house growing up, and I haven't, had the opportunity to meet you guys and for you guys to come into a room and listen to me speak. It's a concept that I'm still trying to get used to. And so for me, the biggest thing Star Wars has taught me is that, I'm much more of a people person than I thought I was. And Finn is like that. For me, Finn is that character that does everything. He gets to hold a lightsaber, he gets to be in a TIE fighter, he gets to wear the stormtrooper outfit, he gets to ride a speeder, he gets to do everything, and he's a people person, and he has a different relationship with each character. With Rose, he has a relationship. With Han, he even had a cool relationship with too, and so for me, I feel like a big deal, I can't lie. It feels cool to be able to know that, like me, Finn can relate to people from all walks of life and still have a conversation, and I think that's cool. That's something that I feel like me and Finn have in common.
That's really beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Great question.
Hi, John.
Hiya.
All right, first of all, thanks for coming to Awesome Con. We
Yeah.
all love you.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Okay, so my question to you is, I've seen videos of you and Daisy singing whatever songs and all that, and of course Oscar sings a little bit. So if there ever came a time for a Star Wars musical, would you jump at the chance?
I'm jumping on it. I'll do it. I do the Christmas special too, as embarrassing as it is. I think you have to, come on. I would, for sure.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Hi, what's your favorite Star Wars movie?
I can't lie, I'm controversial, it's okay. Empire Strikes Back is my favorite.
Hi.
Hello.
So I read the other day that when you did Pacific Rim 2, you had some input into the dialogue, Jake's dialogue, especially in the scenes with Scott. And I guess I was wondering, did you change anything about the character? What did you bring to the character when you wrote your dialogue?
With Jake, in early talks, there was talks of Jake being American. I said no. I knew that I see a lot of messages coming through, and a lot of people hit me up on Twitter and were like, we want to hear your natural accent. And also, I'm sick of explaining to people at airports that I'm not from the States. I'm British. So I wanted to come to Sci-Fi and have Jake be British, and the studio agreed, and that's something that I thought was cool, and also, you know, collaborating on a secret Easter egg that may scream thunder. You gotta watch it. So those were the
I also feel like that's a good way to separate Finn and Jake a little more.
Yeah, it's the big thing. I always thought to myself, if Jake and Finn were in a room and the fans said, well, these are the same people, then I haven't done my job. And so I wanted to make two different aspects of a hero. So I'm glad you loved that.
Okay, so first I either feel like I'm going to pee my pants or have a heart attack, so...
Go for the pee in the pants, please.
Okay, so... I'm shaking. Has there been a movie that you watched as a kid that like scarred you for life? And like, it follows you to this day? Like, I can't do clowns because of it. It ain't happening.
Oh, yeah, that's not happening.
Better not say porn.
My one, yeah, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but there's an old school, I think it was British animated series called Watership Down.
Yeah.
The bunnies, right?
Yeah.
See, that freaked me out. Those rabbits, there was that big rabbit with the claws, he was just chopping through them and there was blood and all that. That really, I was just like, Dad, yeah, no, don't show me this. But the funny thing is, I'm now in a new version of Watership Down, and I play Bigwig, so which is actually crazy. But that freaked me out. Watch it if you haven't.
I love you, thank you.
Thank you, love.
All right.
Hey, what's up, John? My name is Mike.
What's up?
First off, just want to say thank you again for also being out here in our hometown of Washington, D.C.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
So I follow you on social media, and I see that off screen you just love to have fun and you like to dance.
Oh, yeah.
And me, myself, I'm a dancer as well. So I was wondering if we could do a little dance off with each other.
All right,
Can we do it?
No, I'm cash.
Oh, man. Can we get the DJ with some music?
I don't know how quick they can load up.
It's not there.
Yeah, DJ's not here.
Do you want me to sing?
But maybe you probably need to send me an Instagram video of your moves, and I hit you up. Mine.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right.
You gonna be on Janet Council?
Oh yeah, you do.
Howdy, John. My name is Brent. I actually have a question. Actually, two questions.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing, like, say, Attack the Block 2?
Now it's my turn to get your phone.
Oh, babe. Thank you, lovely. I have thought about it. I have got in contact with Joe about it, but it's still in question as to how the story would continue. But if Joe wrote a script that was dynamic and I really enjoyed, I really do imagine Moses on a police horse riding through London with the boys behind him ready to save the day once again.
That's brutal, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And my other question.
Yeah.
On Pacific Rim 2, did anyone give you the nickname John Boyega?
No, you guys did.
There you go.
And I was just there like, so I could have my own John Boyega.
There you go.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you guys.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Okay, I just want to say, man, I love you. So, like,
oh, thank you,
Attack the Block was
thank you,
the first thing I saw you in, and it was like really good. But last year, you got to work with Catherine Bigelow, and you did Detroit.
Yeah.
What was it like being a British person coming into the role of an African-American black male, you know, having to live essentially this life that, for the most part, you didn't have to necessarily experience in the UK?
Well, racial issues is worldwide.
Well, definitely.
And black history in the UK, despite its differences, has lines and parallel lines with what's happened in the States. That's why when there is a Black Lives Matter rally in the United States of America, you will see it happen in London, Birmingham, and all other places. So there's that form of general relation that you have. But also, my job is to tell stories for you guys. My job is to step into roles that are not me. And in training, in drama school, that's what we were taught to do, Not every role you need a connect in terms of something that you've physically been through. And for me, this Catherine Bigelow movie was a way of me jumping out of myself, being totally someone completely different, and handling a serious issue. And also a way for people to see me in a different light, knowing that I'm hitting out Star Wars movies every 2 years. And so that was a great opportunity, and I really, really did love being a part of that.
Yeah. You were fantastic.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
What's up, dude?
What's up, man?
Not much. First and foremost, I would like to but congratulate you on getting Star Wars and Pacific Rim.
Thank you.
They're amazing. So in 2014, the Monsterverse was introduced, right?
Yep.
Where Kong and Godzilla are going to take on one another in 2020, just an FYI. I'm surprised no one's ever brought this up yet, but who would win? Godzilla or Gipsy or Avenger? That's a hard one,
Now, what I will say is that there is no way that Gipsy is going to go up against Godzilla by herself. I do think we would need to form new technology at the PPDC to somehow form Voltron. We got Jake got push that red button and we got. Exactly. That would be the answer.
Yeah, that would be the answer. Alright, well, thank you for answering that.
Thank you, man.
Hey, John, how you doing?
Hello, Emperor.
My name is Matt. I'm from here in Maryland, but my question is a little more serious. How can I escape my past and be the master of my own destiny like Finn?
Boy, I feel like it takes a decision to ever take control of your life and to try to work towards something to be the best you can be. I feel like the world in which we live in dictates to us sometimes the decisions we make. It creates fear within us, and fear leads to what? Hate leads to what? Right. And the dark side, basically, for me, I use that in my real life. It cripples you from taking risks when it's necessary. So I feel having good people around you is great, and also having access to great motivation, and I pray you get that, my friend.
Thank you.
All right.
First off, I'm really glad that you're here, and I look forward to seeing your new Pacific Rim movie.
Thank you, man.
I recently watched the first one, and I loved how your character's father told the world, "We are canceling the apocalypse."
Yeah. Ish.
But then it wasn't canceled. Yeah, exactly. Well, anyway, my question for you is, do you think your character in Star Wars could be the son of Lando Calrissian?
Or the son of Mace Windu. Rey needs some help. She can't take them all by herself. She can't. So maybe.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, man.
Where is Lando? Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to DC.
Thank you.
My question is following up with the other gentleman's. When you found out that you were going to be a stormtrooper, did you feel pressure or stress from the, flack that people didn't see you as a clone? You're a different kind of stormtrooper. Was that stressful to you, or did you?
It was upsetting, definitely, because I'd gone through 8 to 9 months of auditioning for something and working hard for it, and I had auditioned for other stuff. I auditioned for Kingsman, and that didn't happen for me. I would audition for so many other stuff that I really wanted. And Star Wars for me was like the last resort. I was like, okay, if I don't book this, I'm gonna go to Jamaica and like, you know, sell pineapples to something, you know? I'm gonna change this career. So there was relief in getting the role, but then when that backlash came, it was just an interesting time because I realized that, you know, I'm not an actor like everybody else. I'm a black actor, and that means that sometimes you're involved in a whole different type of experience. But to be honest, my response was get used to it. And that because I knew about Black Panther. I knew T'Challa was coming. I was just there like, it's like, guys, I am not alone. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I think we're in a good space now. Thank you, love.
Ms. Boyega, thank you for coming to AwesomeCon.
Thank you, man.
You seem really versed in a lot of different fandoms. So my question is, Team Cap or Team Iron Man?
When I have to say, I'm gonna stick with Cap, man. I'm gonna stick with Cap. I wanna stick with Cap.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man.
That is the correct answer.
Hi, John.
Hi.
Kevin. Huge fan. You and I share one thing in common.
Let me know.
Gundam.
Oh.
And we love Gundam.
Yeah.
So rare to see someone who's like on the big stage who loves Gundam. So my question is, favorite Gundam, and can they beat the Gipsy Avenger?
Gundam Unicorn, man. Absolute favorite. Can they beat Gipsy Avenger? I don't know if you watched Uprising, but I don't think they'll have to. Keep your eyes peeled, like just watch the background a little bit more. And there's some Easter eggs. Jesus, sometimes the fans, I'm like, leave you some little breadcrumbs. Just look closely. You'll see me in the film.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, John.
Hi.
My name is Benita. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
This question's a little silly considering you're in Star Wars, but if you could choose like another role, anything in the universe, what would it be?
Oh, I definitely like to put some makeup on and be Bosk. I'd enjoy that. That's because I killed with Bosk on Star Wars Battlefront 2. I'm taking out guys online with Bosk. So I definitely want to try him out.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
When you play online, do people realize that they're playing with you?
No, I had a few people, I got put into a game stateside, and I was on the phone, I was just like, oh yeah, the name's Finn, and I'm in charge now. And the guy was just like, oh, you do a really good Finn impression. No, it's 72187. No, it's not. All right, cool, let's just play. I have moments where, you know, I like to tell some people it's me, but no one ever believes me, so if you come across, it is actually me, by the way.
Alright, John Boyega, for one, it is an honor to see you live at a panel in AwesomeCon.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I have to ask, as someone who is cosplaying as the character, is it true that you were interested in being Blade? And another question, I've also thought about acting as well. What is a good tip about like truly exposing yourself and getting out there into the business?
For your first question, I believe it would be a spit in the face of Wesley Snipes if I took Blade. I love Wesley. And he actually followed me on Twitter the other day. Yo! So I went on his DMs, I was just like, it's an honor to meet you! By the way, you are Blade! He hasn't replied me yet, but I feel like he will, eventually. So I'm all for Wesley playing Blade. As for your second question in terms of acting, I think training is essential. Acting is not like being a doctor or a lawyer in which you have a set curriculum or a set educational path that leads you towards getting something to qualify you. I feel like with acting, the qualifications, you have to work for those qualifications yourself, and training is essential, because to get the opportunity like an audition and not be ready for it there will be no point. Rather, you train, you build yourself up towards to where your skills are the best they can be. When those opportunities come, you're ready for it. And in training, it means get a camera, put yourself on tape, go online and watch B-rolls. Don't just watch the movie when it comes to the DVDs, watch those extras to learn about the industry that you're in. And I wish you all the best of luck, my friend.
Thank you.
We just have time for a few more.
Sure.
Hi, Mr. Boyega.
Hello.
I'm Justin, and my mind's being blown just like the planet Alderaan right now, so...
that's violent.
I have two questions. So my first, for your two characters, Finn and Jake, was that intentional? Because like Finn and Jake from Adventure Time?
I'm trying to do what every fanboy would do. I tweeted the other day, I said, if I play Finn, I play Jake, do I qualify for an Adventure Time special? So I'm still waiting. I think Jake has a dog cousin that I feel could make that special, perhaps.
And my second question, why does Daisy Ridley call you Peanut?
Daisy calls me Peanut because she thinks I'm cute. And I think she babies me a lot of the time. Jake's oh, Peanut. I call her Peanut because of the shape of her head. So we just think each other as we're just two little peanuts in the pod.
Thank you so much, it was an honor.
Thank you, my friend. What's
What's going on,
T'Challa?
So, my name is Christopher Williams, and I'm so stoked to be even talking to you right now. But, okay, I first became a fan of you from watching Attack the Block, and that just, like, blew my mind that was even possible, that whole concept of the movie. But long story short, what was it like for you actually auditioning for that movie?
Auditioning for Attack the Block was quite the experience because I only did theatre. I'm an actor that comes from the stage. I did musicals, I did tap, I did contemporary dance, I did stage one ballet. My pirouette is actually alright. It was an interesting time, and for me, auditioning was something that really changed my life. I went through a process in which I played a part that was a lot like me at the time. When I was young, I was a boy. I lived in a block, just like my character, and we were just boys. You know, I turned 18 on set. I got my first PlayStation. You know, it was like, you know, a boy's dream. And we were filming with, like, you know, stars like Nick Frost. I got to meet Simon Pegg. You know, and that for me was just an iconic time of my life.
Cool. Well, thanks for talking.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. You said you were a fan of anime?
Yeah.
Ever heard of one of my personal favorite mecha series is Neon Genesis Evangelion? Ever heard of it?
Yes, I have. Yeah. They remastered the Jaegers.
Would you agree that 3.0 was a disappointment and a disgrace to the series?
I think narratively there's a long way to go, but for you to understand what is good anime, I feel like you need to understand the process of anime. And it's not easy to make. And sometimes, like Naruto, and now we've got Boruto, sometimes the stories don't work. But for me, I'm just sick and tired of fillers. Let's get rid of the fillers. Let's get straight to the point. That's why I love Neon Genesis as much as anything else.
All right, let's go over here. What's your question? You want it? You got it.
This is my Voldemort.
I want to speak to you.
This is my Beast Windu.
Ask me something.
He wants to know what your favorite character was that you've ever played. And he wants to know how you think the Force really does work.
How does the Force work?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. My favorite character so far is definitely Moses from Attack the Block. I just enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. But how does the Force work? I don't know. It's changing now. My friend watched The Last Jedi, and he was like, you know what, John, this reminds me of like Force Tinder. Like, it's like Kylo Ren and Rey now have access to each other. So we're now discovering new ways in which the Force works, and I'm trying to figure it out as much as you. I'm gonna call Ryan Johnson after that. After this.
I think what he said is that he doesn't want it to be a superpower.
I know, but like...
They're little Force, like, we call them Force Skype sessions.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, I don't know, I was just used to the Force working one way. I mean, I guess maybe it got an upgrade, you know? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out as much as you.
Thank you so much for coming to DC.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna do one more on each side. We're gonna do one more on each side, all right?
Hi, John. When you were filming Star Wars, what were the craziest pranks pulled on set?
Sorry, I'm going through the list. Oh crap. And I'm gonna shout out to the BB-8 team that are here, who control BB-8. These guys are here with us. I'm actually, I love BB-8. Okay, I love BB-8. And when I see BB-8, I can't control myself. So I decide that there is an invisible goalpost, and BB-8 is my football. And sometimes I like to jump over BB-8 and somewhat adjust his or her antenna. And I've been doing that for a while, and I'd like to apologize to the BB-8 team for doing that. They're sat over there, those guys over there. They're incredible. They control these guys. They run BB-8. Even when I'm on set, BB-8 is always active, keeps me in character. But I hope you guys are, I'm gonna do it again in July. So we're always having good old fun. Thank you. Love you too, mate.
Hi, John. I'm a big fan of your work.
Thank you so much, man.
I know you won't give out spoilers for episode 9, but how is 9 going to connect with the original trilogy of Star Wars and the prequel trilogy?
It's a good question.
Because I know J.J. Abrams said that it's going to connect every trilogy together since the sequel trilogy is the last one. So I just want to know, without giving spoilers, how's it going to connect?
How does it end?
So it starts with a long time ago in a galaxy. Exterior. I haven't read the script for episode 9. But Daisy did shoot me a text before, I think she was going on a flight somewhere, and she shot me a text saying, "Oh my gosh, I just spoke to JJ and we're back together." And that's what I'm excited about, is Finn and Rey being back together and go through this fight. But I don't know, like, I'm literally at a point now where I haven't received a script, a word on anything that's going on.
Oh, that's not good.
But I know I'm in it. I'm scheduled, okay? I'm scheduled. Jesus Christ. What I do know is that the day I get the call to come and read the script, I'll let you guys know when I've read it for sure.
Okay, because I'm following you on Twitter, so.
Yeah. I'll definitely, and the code is, everyone listen, if you follow me, the code is, guys, I've read it. So you know when that day comes.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, that is all the time we have. Thank you so much.
I'd like to say a big thank you to all of you. Thank you so much. Honestly, guys, I wouldn't be able to do any of this without your support. And so thank you so much for supporting me since the beginning of Force Awakens. And let's have more years at cons together. I'll be back in Washington, DC for sure.